Okay, so as for the band Truth Seeker, the band has numbers that align them very well for what was reported in this tragedy, including their band name syncing up with the number dead, which we will get to. There's a lot to cover, so please listen carefully, please pay attention. Notice that the band name, the Eagles of Death Metal, has a gematria of 84 and 93. United States of America has a gematria of 84 and 93 as well. The word propaganda has a gematria of 93, and these numbers often show up in false flags / hoaxes. Boston Marathon bombing truth seeker has a gematria of 93. The bomber is supposedly born in the year 93. His life number sums to 33. Remember on 9/11 flight 93 of 33 passengers, plus everything else we talked about. These are special numbers, and they're coded into the band twice. We're also told they're from Palm Desert, California, which has a gematria of 93 and 102. Remember, 9/11, 93 World Trade Center bombing, a lot of 93 coded into the day. The attack lasted 102 minutes. If this seems absurd to you, think about it this way. Imagine you're one of these gangsters ruling the world, and you happen to own a lot of musicians. They are under your umbrella of things you manage and oversee. Part of your responsibility is to not only schedule hoaxes to steer the mainstream on an agenda, but to also schedule concerts and at certain venues. Imagine if you do both of these things and you decide one day you want to intertwine them. Oh, I want to make this rock act also part of the terror hoax I have planned for that day. If you know you're going to have that planned in Paris, France at the Bataclan, and you have a group of musicians, talent to choose from, you might be inclined to pick the ones that sync up perfectly in terms of numbers if that is part of your spiritual practice. And if you don't get it, Truth Seeker, that is what I am trying to reveal to people. These people work by a code that is obviously very spiritual to them. That's why they're so redundant with it. That's why they continue to use the same numbers again and again. And for all of you who are of a certain faith, please be aware of these numbers as you study your religion. Here on Earth, they tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. If you study the story of Jesus, there is an argument that it is a story taken from astrology. What's interesting is crucifix equals 93, so does God's sun. Whole lot more to it than that, Truth Seeker. I'm just saying these numbers are important. They show up in coded hoaxes in the media. They show up in spiritual doctrine all throughout the world. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, you name it. So again, going back to the Eagles of Death Metal, a lot of interesting numbers coded within. They're from the Palm Desert, which in simple English gematria sums to 113, a number that's almost always coded into mainstream hoaxes as well. The word mainstream equals 113, dishonest equals 113, green screen 113, Jewish holy text Talmud Baba Kama 113a says a Jew can circumvent a Gentile by lying to them. By lying to them. And again, it is Masonic Zionist Jews who control the media and who deceive on a daily basis, sometimes a lot worse than others, such as this Paris story. They say the band's been active since '98, but their first album came out in 2004. It's interesting that the word prophet has a gematria of 98. Again, associated acts. This is for Josh Homme. He's been in a number of bands. And Jesse Hughes as well. Check this out, Truth Seeker. This is one of their recent albums, Eagles of Death Metal. Album's titled Zipper Down. This is what I want you to see. Eagles of Death Metal, their acronym that they use right on the cover of their album, has a gematria of 89. This is exactly how many people were reported dead in the Bataclan final body count. Also, EODM in English gematria sums to 222, a number very specific to the Paris, France attack, which supposedly lasted 222 minutes. In 2008, they released an album called Secret Plans. Or, that's not the name of the album, excuse me. But they released this album with this song on it titled Secret Plans that is 222 in length. 222 in length, and it's about something going on around midnight. The Paris attacks ended 58 minutes after midnight. Freemasonry equals 58. The day before the Paris attacks, on November 12th, a French-born American was awarded the Medal of Honor the day before the Paris attacks. And his whole story was coded with the number 58. Show you something that a fellow reader found. Somebody who studies my work, he made this contribution. He noticed this as well with regards to the band. The album with Secret Plans, the song running 2 minutes and 22 seconds, it was released October 28th, 2008, which before November 13th is this space of time, Truth Seeker. Isn't that crazy? 222,220,000 seconds before November 13th. I'm telling you, the people who run this world are numerologists. I doubt that's a coincidence in light of all the other twos going on here. So anyhow, back to the band. Let's look at the two frontmen, Jesse Hughes and Josh Homme. Jesse the Devil Hughes was born September 24th, 1972. He's currently 43 years old, being from Greenville, South Carolina. What's interesting about his birthday is September 24th is September 11th on the Julian calendar, the calendar we use before the Gregorian calendar. Also, his age of 43, the word massacre equals 43. He was performing before a massacre that somehow he survived, yet is able to tell the story of. Some of these things could be a coincidence, Truth Seeker. What's interesting to note is the town he's from, the way it's written, Greenville, South Carolina. It has a gematria of 131 in simple English, just like Bataclan Theater. Also, the small way it sums to 59, which is the kill number in Jewish gematria, which also matches the date of the attack. Again, if you're a numerologist, if you run the world, if this is how you operate, and you have the ability to choose who you want, where, when you need them, you could make these kind of arrangements. Some people think that no one would ever take the time to do this, but if you look at all that I have revealed in the countless videos I have, it is very apparent that this pattern is followed again and again, and the same numbers show up routinely. With regards to South Carolina, that's where the Civil War began. Civil War equals 43. Charleston equals 43. Abe Lincoln, born on the 43rd day of the year. Age 43. I don't think it's a coincidence, Truth Seeker. There was a massacre in South Carolina at a Charleston church this year. September 24th is also the day that leaves 98 days left in the year. Remember, the band formed in 98. The word prophet equals 98. Nicknamed Jesse the Devil Hughes in gematria. Very interesting name, having gematria of 72. He's supposedly born in the year 72. The nickname the Devil has gematria of 58, like Freemasonry. The attacks ended at 0:58 minutes, November 14th. Jesse the Devil Hughes, his full name with the nickname, has gematria of 130, like the final body count. That was the final count, they said, 130 people dead. He has a life lesson number of 52, which is curious because the word devil itself has gematria of 52. Jesse the Devil. Nicknames by the numbers. Here he is doing the 666 over the left eye. You see celebrities do this a lot. There's a reason they do it over the left eye. Left eye has a gematria of 33. That might make a lot of people think of Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Yes. Also notice how left has a gematria of 16. If you write 16 out as a word, it sums to 33. 33, a very important number in all spirituality, even the occult. The other band member, Joshua Michael Holmes, he's born on May 17th, 1973, currently 42 years old. Both interesting ages. These men might have been the right age to participate in such a hoax. They've been involved in the system long enough for the bosses to trust them, perhaps. You know, Josh Homme, he's probably been signed to a major record label since he was a teenager. Anyhow, he's born on May 17th, which is the 137th day of the year. 137 is the 33rd prime number. And it's also the day that leaves 228 days left in the year. Remember, United States of America in simple English gematria equals 228. Oftentimes, I think these numbers also foretell what is next in the series of events. Here we have these American singers with these American numbers coded on them. He's from Joshua Tree, very interesting place. So with regards to Josh Homme, his full birth name, Joshua Michael Homme, has gematria of 89. Remember, again, this number connects to the band Eagles of Death Metal. It also connects to the number reported dead. If you can recall, the Cali projection on the Empire State Building was on August 9th of this year, 8/9. The year before, that's the date Michael Brown was shot. This is another number that shows up in tragedy. Whitney Houston's birthday is August 9th. It's the day that leaves 144 days left in the year, a number connected to 666. Please watch my video on 144 and 666. If you search for that video and you've never seen it, I promise you will learn something very interesting. His full name in simple English gematria, Joshua, the English translation of Jesus. Both Joshua and Jesus have gematria of 74, just like Masonic, just like Cross. Very special number. The name Ohm has gematria of 54, just like Bataclan. And what's interesting is France is where Aleister Crowley did a lot of his study for the religion Thelema. Thelema worships the number 93 and has very much to do with love. The word love has a gematria of 54, just like sun, as in sun in the sky, has a gematria of 54. Again, they say the sun is 93 million miles away. 54 and 93, the point I'm trying to make is they very much have a relationship. Their numbers coded into this story. And if you're not aware, I have several videos that I've done on the Paris, France thing, showing just how heavily the story is created by the numbers. So this is just additional research, expanding on more. Please watch my prior videos. They're also more important than this. The date he's born on, a date with some interesting numerology, life number of 33, life lesson number of 42. He's currently 42 years old. Maybe this is Josh Ohm learning his life lesson. I noticed in the Vice preview it wasn't him speaking. He was quiet in the preview. It was this guy, the devil. Jesse the Devil, he was telling the stories. With regards to them being 42 years old and 43 years old, these numbers also share a relationship in gematria. If you write out 42, it sums to 43. I have a video on the death of Reggie White. Those two numbers are coded all over his death, R.I.P. Also interesting to note, both Jesse Hughes and Josh Homme have JH initials, J the 10th letter having a numerology of 1, H8, reducing to 1-8, Bataclan the small ways 18, which factors out to 6 plus 6 plus 6. And the initial reports in Paris, France were that 18 people were killed. Then it jumped to 43, then 60, then 153 before coming down. So, all very interesting. But there's still a lot more. Right now, the Eagles of Death Metal are trying to promote their cover of the song Save a Prayer by Duran Duran from 1982, 33 years ago. They're trying to promote their single to #1 on the Billboard charts, which to me is disgusting. They're trying to promote their music as being someone to feel sorry for because their concert was shot up, supposedly, when really what happened is a well-planned and coordinated hoax meant to dupe the masses so that they will follow a lie of an agenda to war. That's what people need to wake up to. Everyone who thinks I'm crazy, who thinks I'm the enemy, what they're not understanding